Okay, so I did the like uneven features thing the other day. I don't know when that was. For crooked nose and eyebrows, uneven eyebrows. And I got a lot of requests for lips, which was one that I had on my list. So I'm going to show you today how I line my lips and just kind of like correct uneven things. Just quickly, I got a lot of like comments on that video. Listen, none of this shit's necessary, man. Like, you don't have to do any of these things. I understand the wording correcting might be, I don't know, trigger some people, but I'm all about it, man. I'm all about different features and differences in features. It doesn't matter. Sometimes, though, there are certain things that bother certain people, and there are things that you can do with makeup. There is a theory behind makeup, and part of my job on this channel here is teaching you how to use the art of makeup, because it's powerful. It does a lot. So anyway, today we're just gonna be talking about lining our lips and correcting the uneven things. All right, so let's see, what lip liner should I use today? Probably not one that's discontinued, like all my favorites are. Let's use an oldie. Let's use Mac Whirl. So my lips, nobody's lips are perfect. Everyone has uneven lips. It's not that big a deal. But sometimes when, and I explained this in that other video, sometimes when you're like applying makeup in a certain way, you might be making like things look more uneven without even realizing it. Like if you weren't wearing makeup, no one would recognize it. But when you put the makeup on it, it ends up kind of like enhancing certain features. So all I'm trying to teach you is how to avoid making those mistakes and correcting those little things. And it's actually incredibly helpful to see yourself in the reverse, because another thing that I talked about was the fact that like we're used to seeing ourselves in a mirror, and we get used to that view of ourselves. Like, you know, when you take a photo with your phone and it flips the image and you look at it and you're like, what? That's because you're not seeing yourself like that. It looks crazy to you because you see yourself, you see your reflection, but you don't look that way to other people. So just keep that in mind. So taking a photo of yourself and flipping it does actually help. It kind of like helps you to see things in the reverse, basically. You can see with my lips, this part right here, like this part of my Cupid's bow comes up a little bit higher than this one. But my mouth kind of moves a little bit more in this direction. So this lip actually, like this part of my lip is actually shorter. Oh, I just stabbed myself. It's overall, it's shorter than this part. See how this part comes down a little bit more? It goes out a little more. When I smile, my smile is crooked, comes out more this way, and it's shorter this way. So those are really the only things that I'm correcting. I'm just trying to kind of make this part of my lip come out a little bit more, which isn't the easiest. Now for my lower lip, same deal. It kind of like goes, wait, does it go this way? No, I can't remember. So this part of my lip, it's shorter and it comes down a little bit more. See? So it's like fuller right here. And then as we turn, it's like a little less full, if that makes sense. It doesn't come down quite as much. So when I'm lining my lips, I'm gonna start off with the top. Now I like to overline my lips, which also really helps to even things out because you're kind of like creating a new line in general. However, I do have like a pretty beveled line, so sometimes it can like look pretty obvious. So I'd like to kind of bring this up and then start by following this Cupid's bow. And I like to thicken it a little, and then when I get down to here, kind of wring it out a little. So I really just kind of like to thicken them up just a little bit. And then now remember, this Cupid's bow comes up a little higher, so I don't need to go as high with this one. But this lip is shorter, so I like to thicken and then bring it like out here. So I'm kind of trying to like make those little corrections. There's only so much you can do, which is another thing that I probably should have mentioned in that other video, because I got a lot of requests for like things that are like unrealistic. You have to be realistic here. Makeup can only do so much. So if you have an eyebrow that comes all the way up here and a brow that comes all the way down here, there's only so much that you can do with makeup. This Cupid's bow likes to get a little bit more pointy, so I like to kind of round it a little more. And then making this one a little more pointy, since it is already rounder, helps to kind of balance it. Thickening this part up a little. So we're looking a little bit more even all the way through, right? So now when I line my lips down here, so this is the side that comes, it's a little thinner out here and it comes down a little further down here. This comes, is a little thicker over here and it comes up a little more in the center. So I'm gonna start here. So bringing that line up just a little and then out, thickening this part a little. And then for this side, I'm gonna bring it down a little. And then just kind of following this line. Now I'm just gonna fill in my lips with that liner. Remember when Kylie Jenner had that like lip look that everybody was so obsessed with, like before she got lip filler? And everybody was like, oh my God, it's Mac Whirl. That was so long ago. All right, guys, that's it. There isn't like that much to say. It's really just about like being realistic and trying to make those tiny adjustments where you can. So if you feel like one Cupid's bow area is a little bit sharper and the other one's a little more round, make the round one ever so slightly more sharp and the sharp one ever so slightly more round, and it's just gonna end up looking a lot more even. Now, obviously, if you are into lip contouring, then you can go in with a slightly darker shade and do a little bit more. So this is a lip liner by the brand called Lawless. It's in the shade Honey Rose, which is kind of like a purpley toned color. So I'm actually going to use this to do a little bit of contouring, and it kind of just helps to set certain areas of the lips back in space. Oh, this is really creamy. I don't like that. Okay, just kidding. I'm going to go in with Lime Crime Minx. Using a slightly darker color is just going to help like push certain areas back in space. It does a little bit more contouring, and if you feel like you have to overline your lips a little bit to get them a little bit more even, going in with a darker shade in that area where you've overlined can help kind of just like make it look a little bit more flat. We messed it up on the Cupid's bow because I went in with a very creamy lip liner, which is something that you want to avoid, because as you can see, the light is now reflecting in that area and it's making it even more obvious. So. And then obviously if you go in a little bit too much in any area, same deal, dude. Go in with a little bit of a flat brush and some concealer, clean it up, a little bit of back and forth, totally fine. Obviously it doesn't look completely perfect, but whose lips are, you know? All right, guys, I hope that helped in some way. If you have any tips and tricks for uneven lips, let me know. But, you know, okay, bye.